Hey, how's it going? It's about 4 p.m. on a Friday, and I just got off at the Bering BTS station. Here's another St. Andrews International School campus. I knew of the one over in Ekamai. I didn't know there was one right here at Bering, but here it is. And I only started timing from En Route because I got off the train, got a quick haircut. So from En Route to Bering was less than 9 minutes on the train, and I'll go down and show you the BTS map here in a second. I have been here once years ago, but I don't know anything about the area. I was just talking to a buddy over at Cheap Charlie's about a week ago, and I knew he lived right there by Soi 50 forever, and I know he's on a tight budget. I think he has 2 kids in international school, and every penny counts. So he told me he now lives up here in Bering. It's in his words, much more affordable than En Route, or what En Route used to be. So I'm going to take a quick look around, just sticking close to the BTS here in the Bering BTS area. I think from, say, Asok to En Route, I used to live in En Route, so I believe that train ride is 12 minutes, something like that. So then add that 9 minutes to get up here to Bering. Again, this would be if you're just kind of keeping to yourself. Maybe you don't go out every night of the week, yet you're still right on the train line. You might get an affordable deal up here. So it's all kind of grayed out here, but you can see Nana, Asok, Prampong, Tanglo, Ekamai, Prakanong, En Route, Bangchak, Putawiti, Udamsuk, Bang Na, and here we are in Bering. Now the next station, Samrong, I believe, is where the new yellow line connects. So that would take you out towards Lat Phrao. And I think that yellow line just opened, I want to say in June of 2023. So this is looking up Sukhumvit in the direction towards En Route. Over here I can't tell if that's Soi 70/2. And over here I don't see the number. It won't exactly line up. It'll be in the 100s. And it looks like on the other side of the street is a large night market right here at Bering. But once again, I'm going to head over here on the St. Andrews side, take a peek. And this St. Andrews is Sukhumvit Soi 107. And this is, I guess Soi La Salle. So we'll take a look up the way. Here's Sukhumvit. There's the night market. There's Bering BTS. And we'll take a walk up La Salle. I think I saw some buildings on the backside of St. Andrews. First thing you'll find is some large business. I don't see a name for it unless it's a water company, I guess, Sprinkle. And right across the way is a little food court area. Now this says Center Point Entertainment, so maybe tucked away back here is some kind of a civic center place for concerts and whatnot. I don't see it right here on the street, but maybe it's tucked back a bit. Grand Coffee Boy. Seems to be a lot of small businesses in the area catering to that school, no doubt. Oh, here's a little burger place, Empire Burger. 200 baht for a basic burger and going up to 255 for deluxe. And as we're coming up the street, there's a little alley here with some Thai food, 200 baht. Haircut at Barber Bell. There's a bunch of workers. Let's see what's back here. It's a nail place. No, it just looks like a little area for buses. And I take it back. It looks like different office workers and whatnot. So maybe this is like a little mini bus station to go back a further distance. It looks like they're piling on those same type of buses I see like the construction workers pile in on. But these were definitely ladies that. It's about 4 o'clock, so it looks like they just came from work or school. Here's the Pattern Pet Shop. Always good to know where the pet store is if you're gonna have a dog or cat over here. This looks like a little resale shop. And across the way it says Security Black Interguard. So I think that's a security guard business. Another little alley up the way here. I don't see a whole lot, so I'm going to keep walking up. I assume we're still on La Salle. There's no shortage of Thai little restaurants, not really street food. These are little restaurants on both sides of the road. Looks like a cool little hardware store. I don't know what this is. This is a building tucked away back here. I think it's a business. I'll walk down there and take a peek. Yeah, there's not much back here. Some private homes and some small businesses. Again, that large building is maybe, if it's 200 meters, I'd be surprised from Bering. But that's right on Sukhumvit. I decided to walk down this LaSalle for some reason. I see a building tucked away back here. I'm not sure how to get there, maybe from around the corner. And this was LaSalle Soi Pan 3 that I just took a peek up. Okay, here we go. So here's some smaller apartment buildings. Again, very close to Bering BTS. You can see the rain shade for the BTS station, and directly below is the St. Andrews 107 campus. Not to be confused with, is it Soi 42 up in Ekamai? That's the only St. Andrews I was aware of. So we're now up to Soi 6, and it says the Blessed Place, apartments for rent, is up this little alley. So we'll take a peek up there. I'm not sure if this is Blessed Place. I think it's that other building, but I'll figure out what both are. So this is looking down Soi 6. Looks like a cool little street. Taxis waiting to roar you down, and barbershop. I think this is a massage place right on the right. For still being in Bangkok, I mean, you're not in the center of Bangkok, but you're not far. You're 20 minutes away. It's way more mellow up here. If you have a need to be in the city, yet you're a little bit afraid of the craziness of Asok, or even where I live, Phrom Phong, and make no mistake about it, it is like New York City, just hustle and bustle. For me, that's a positive, because I'm a night owl. If I want to get something to eat at midnight, 1 in the morning, get a beer, yeah, no problem. I have a feeling that this area, just like when I lived up in Non Nut, is going to roll the sidewalks up at 9, 10 p.m. and there might just be 1 or 2 small places to go. And once again, I don't know. I'm going to guess Blessed Place might still be down here, because this building is all in Thai. It's probably a no frills type building, but it also might come at less than $300 a month, or maybe even cheaper. I don't know. Don't quote me on the prices. I just know you can get some deals out here, and this is far from a fancy building. It just looks like a cinder block. Basic accommodations, nothing wrong with that, but I see different cooking pans out on the balcony, which oftentimes means that's where you cook, just like on a little propane setup. And that big wall at the end is LaSalle, and this says it's the Moonstone residence. Looks pretty nice. I'm peeking in, I mean, not huge. That's probably less than 30 square meters, but again, has a very nice balcony. And I don't know, it's a step above this basic cinder block building. Once again, you can look that up. Moonstone residence, apartment for rent. Well, it says starting at 7,000 baht, fully furnished, 5-minute walk from Bering BTS. So there you go, starting from 7,000 baht for a studio, no doubt. But geez, my first condo was 16,000 baht, and I'm paying 19 now. Although I'm getting what I pay for. I got a big 52 square meter, which is worth paying a little extra in my view. I can afford to do so. But if you're on a little bit tighter budget, or you just want to save money, nothing wrong with getting a nice clean place for 7,000 baht. And many of these buildings, they're just listed in Thai. I'm sure they'd be more than glad to help you walk through the process of moving in there. But there's just there's a small divide between a Thai style building, say, and I'll call this more an expat type building. I don't mean to be judgmental or anything like that. It's just there's a little bit of a divide where in a place like this building, it might cater more to folks that are teaching over at that school and just different Thai folks, whereas the quote-unquote Thai style building, you may or may not be the only Farong or foreign person living in there, which again, nothing wrong with that, but just keep it in mind. And I don't see any signage for any of these buildings, really. I was looking for that Blessed Residence. There's no big signs like welcome to such and such. There's nothing wrong with these buildings at all. Nice little quiet soy. Close walk, less than 10 minutes. The BTS, well, you can see it from here. Sort of. These trees are in the way, but it right beyond those trees, I'd guess all that separates you is the campus. Here's another building. I haven't seen, well, this one has a name. I haven't seen any 7-Eleven. Okay, this is the Blessed Place then. So that is what got me walking down this, whatever that is, 100 meters from LaSalle. And it looks like there's something called the BTS Mansion back here, and then it might dead end. Yep, here's the BTS and PJ Mansion, I guess combined, or maybe there's two towers. Again, looks like basic accommodations. But I like these little hidden away soys. I like them a little better when they're in Prakanong or even Prompong, more in the middle of the city, because I'm always out doing something 5 nights a week, if not 7 nights a week. So it'd be a little harder for me to live up here and meet my friends in Asolk or Victory Monument or whatnot. It's going to be a bit of a haul up here, especially once the train stops at midnight. So there you go. There's an example of some affordable places. I'm assuming they're all affordable. We're going to walk back up to that LaSalle and continue on to the right. Hey, and I'm pronouncing it LaSalle. I'm sure it's pronounced a different way in Thai, but hey, I only know one LaSalle. I think it's in Chicago, so I'm sticking with LaSalle, right or wrong. You know what? I take it back. There's no 7-Eleven, which is unusual, but there is this little store and another little store that are just attached to the condos. I doubt if they're going to stay open late into the evening, so you'll have to keep that in mind. And I'm sure up here on the busier LaSalle Street, I'm sure there's a 24-hour 7-Eleven. You can't really go anywhere in Thailand without finding one. I just haven't seen one yet. And back on LaSalle, here's the, I can't really read that sign. Is it Supalai City Resort? I see signs for studios for rent. And then there's, I think that's also part of the same resort. And plenty of different little businesses and barbershops all along this way. Well, there's your 7-Eleven right there. So even if you lived on that quieter street, less than 2 blocks away, you have a 7-Eleven. This is Soi 8, so I guess that would be Soi 10. And getting our bearings, you can see the BTS tracks down the way, less than 200 meters maybe. And here's the city resort. Now we're gonna go up and I'm gonna take a peek down Soi 8. This is looking down Soi 8. Looks like another quiet place with 3 or 4 buildings, so we'll go take a peek. And this is the Once building. I think that's what it's called. Once in LaSalle, open now. Look like smaller places, but nice and clean. Maybe a restaurant below, the rice room. And here's an auto shop. Bendix Brakes, Brembo. And another Thai-style building. Seem to be more little private homes and businesses, little laundromat than on that other Soi. But here is the Excel building, or the Excel hybrid. If you were to walk to the school or BTS from here, yeah, less than 10 minutes. There seems to be a lot of traffic, motorbike taxis zooming through here, and I see a sign that says take a left to 107. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and see where 107 pops out. And if 107, I know St. Andrews said it was on 107, so maybe that'll get me back to BTS bearing. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, I've kind of ran out of other than this, and I think this is like a fancy triplex. So, hey, doggy. So I'm going to make this left turn, and it says it'll eventually get me over to 107. I'm not sure if it's gonna take 4 or 5 blocks, but we'll find out. Oh, hey puppy, he came up on me. Hi. Yeah, I don't I love dogs, but I don't go walking around patting loose dogs just in case they're grouchy. But he came up and gave me a sniff. Yeah, look at this beautiful home. That's nice. I thought it was a triplex, but I think it's a single property. Hi. Yeah, so when I'm out exploring like this, here's some different just basic accommodations. I just it's okay, puppy. Okay, this one's asking me to move along. Just as long as it's not raining. There's a lot of loose dogs out here, but they're just kind of minding their business, hanging out in front of their shop. There's a lot of talk on YouTube about soy dogs and how big a problem they are. Me, I've never really had a problem with most of these dogs. Yeah, they have homes right there. He's going back to his home. He's allowed to run loose around the neighborhood, but he's not a crazy killer. Now again, this is all in Thai. It's a real big complex. Yeah. Still, I hope I can make this right turn and head towards 107. I really don't want to walk 8 blocks down the way. Sweating up. And to be honest, there hasn't really been anything here in this area I'd rush to move into. Just some basic accommodations and maybe that Excel building. We'll get back over to that 107, see what it has to offer. So I'm coming up to an intersection. I see all the traffic coming from there. I can see it turning around that corner. So I'm gonna guess that's how you get to that 107. I guess I can get on Google Maps, but I'm sitting here filming with my phone and I don't really care if I get lost anyhow. So I'm just out exploring the neighborhood. So I'll walk. Again, that is 1 block from here to where you're gonna watch that guy turn. This is a street, that's a street, so this is a city block. So that did work out. I walked up the way, I made the right turn. Unfortunately, this area is kind of being used like a little bit of a dump. And that's probably not the best place to be walking because there were soy dogs living in that little dump area. I looked in there and there was, at least 5 or 6 of them just kind of sitting there. So I just quietly walked by. Those are probably the dogs you don't want to mess with, not the one sitting in front of its house. All right, this looks like the B Loft building. And I'm guessing that busy road 100 meters away where you see all the traffic, I'm 99.9% sure that's Soi 107, so this might also be considered 107. And just to get our boundaries, Sukhumvit's over here, St. Andrew's School is here, Bering BTS is here. I went this way and came up that LaSalle, explored a couple little soys, made my way over here to 107, and I believe we're gonna now go out, pop out back at the Bering BTS on the other side of St. Andrews where I first started. And yeah, the sign confirms that this is B Loft on Soi 107. So you can check that out on different websites. HipFlat, HIPFLAT. HipFlat will give you a good idea of current rents and sales prices. Plus it'll give you realtor shots of the insides of the units and all. I'm not real big on pretending I'm wanting to rent a place and, oh, by the way, let me shoot a video at the same time. I believe it or not, a lot of these realtor offices, there's signs as you walk up that says no YouTubers. There's so many people out doing real estate videos. I know they're super popular, but yeah, I think a lot of these realty offices, you'd think it would be free advertising, but I don't know. I don't think they necessarily want to deal with me putting out a video today in 2023 with, hey, look at this place for 9,000 baht, and you bothering them 4 years from now, where's the 9,000 baht unit? It's, hey dummy, that was 4 years ago. But here's Notting Hill. And pretty sure that's a pool right here. Even mid-level older buildings are gonna have a pool. Maybe not so much those Thai style cinder block, super no frills, save every penny you can. But that Notting Hill, for sure that was a pool. And here's a place called Peter and Sons Food and Drink. Must be where that tarp is at the end there. Probably a local hotspot. Try not to get hit by a car here. This is actually a pretty busy little thoroughfare. I think people use it as a shortcut to get from that LaSalle over to 107. Kasia, Sukhumvit 107. And once we get up to 107, maybe a 6-minute, 7-minute walk. Maybe you could do it quicker to get down to Bering BTS. And I think this is called the Origin back there, but I'm gonna pick my spots carefully and not walk between 3 dogs chewing on bones, just in case they get a little territorial. But that's Origin down here. And what do I know? I thought we were gonna pop out on Soi 107. This says Soi Bering number 1, which might also be 107. I'm not sure. I'm sure if you lived up here, you're maybe screaming at YouTube. Of course that's 107, but I don't know. Maybe it's like Sukhumvit is really Soi 21, or it would be, but it's a Sukhumvit. So I'm not sure, but I do know these 3 big buildings I saw right to the left of, and I can see Sukhumvit not even 200 meters up the way. So I'm gonna head back this way, let you know what these 2 big buildings are close to the Bering BTS. And once again, we're on Soi Bering 1. If that's also 107, or maybe 107 is the next street over, I don't know. I was just following those signs that said this way to 107, and I've been out hiking around, getting a little hot, so this is a good enough walk for me. I'm gonna go down, check out what's going on here, and then head back towards BTS Bering. And you know, I could probably do a little better about mapping out where I'm going, but to be honest, I had no idea I was even coming up here today. I was just an en route for an errand, and I said, I'm gonna go up to Bering just because my buddy told me he just moved up here. I don't do any kind of planning. Another person said, hey, it'd be helpful if you put up Google Maps. I actually got in trouble putting up Google Maps. I know other people do it, and maybe they're also getting demonetized. I don't know, but I used to put up Google Map when I did my videos in Mexico, and I got dinged 99% of the time. Hey, you're not allowed to use Google Maps and make even pennies, whatever little amount you're making on YouTube, you just can't do it. So that's why I don't put the Google Map, but I do my best to shoot the street signs, and yeah, maybe I can put some Google links in the description, but it's not rocket science where I am. But as far as not knowing where Soi 107, or if 107 is also Bering, yeah, I'm just kind of winging it. I'm just kind of walking around and figuring it out as I go. So I don't lie when I say I'm just a rookie out exploring the city. I haven't been up here in this Bering in 10 years, and I don't know anything about it. Here's Fantasia Villa 2. It looks kind of French, kind of cool architecture. I'm not sure what it is, if it's a fancy apartment complex. And of course there's more smaller 6- and 8-story buildings. A nice easy walk to St. Andrews, fall off sidewalk here, or BTS Bering. But I'm keeping it simple, and now I'm feeling raindrops, so yeah, I'm picking up the pace, heading back towards the train. And across the way, that's Soi Bering number 8, Soi 8. And there's the Pause building, Sukhumvit 107. Now see, that's saying it's 107. So once again, I don't know what's going on. I'm guessing Soi Bering is also 107, but you'd have to get to that building just like I came up, where that motorbike just made a left turn, and go up the way past those dogs attacking the bone, and there's a string of buildings like that Pause, and I think the other one was called Origin. It would kind of make sense you can get to it over here somehow. Maybe there's a way to access the St. Andrews campus. That would make sense, but I'm not positive. Now here's the gallery. Looks like a beautiful, I don't know what that is, 20-story building. Again, a very easy commute to Bering BTS or St. Andrews. Now across the street from Gallery on this Soi Bering is a rundown lot. There's a kind of a lot of that up here in this area. I guess the land is just a little bit more affordable. You're not going to really see this in Asok or Prompong, just because it's just so valuable. They would knock this mess down and build something, but if that's something that's going to bother you, looking out your window at your beautiful Gallery condo, kind of onto a little bit of a vacant lot, just letting you know it's there. And I'm not sure if this is a building site. Knightsbridge, Collage, Sukhumvit 107. Now this is saying it's 107, so I'm learning that Bering, Soi Bering might be also 107. Kind of makes sense. But I lived in Knightsbridge on Newt, Soi 77. Beautiful building, but smaller. My one bedroom, which basically was a studio with a sliding door in between the bedroom, was 31 square meter, 16,000 baht up in on Newt. So I don't know when I get around the corner here if this is built or when it's going to be built. I'd be interested in how much you save just coming 10 more minutes. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready with the what do you call it? Well, this says Attitude LaSalle. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe Knightsbridge is going to be up the way and that was just advertising. I'd be curious how much you save coming up to Bering. This is, what do you call it? Where you come in and view the model home. Yeah, because I don't think the building is built yet, this Attitude. It just looks like a big vacant lot to the right of me. Oh, okay. Keep my mouth shut and keep walking. Here's the Knightsbridge right here. So Knightsbridge, Charming Advantage, I think it says. So once again, was that Advantage? Yeah, I don't know. That was Altitude. I don't know what's going on, but here's the Knightsbridge building. Little smaller. I was in a 44 tall in on Newt. This one looks more in the 20s, but it might come at a real savings being out here in Bering. And on the other side of this, at least this is a greenery, you can see, I don't know if that's the school or the BTS. Actually, I think it's both. I think the first cover is St. Andrews, and you can see the train arriving in Bering Station, so that's how close you are. So that's a nice building, the Knightsbridge. There's two Knightsbridges, okay. Yeah, I'm just learning as I go. So here's the Knightsbridge Charming Arty Vintage building, okay. And next door is the Knightsbridge Collage. And that definitely says Sukhumvit 107, even though the sign said Bering Soi 1. Yeah, I had no problem with that Knightsbridge building in on Newt at all. Very polished, everything's gold, marble hallways, real nice. If you don't mind a smaller place and you know, you want a nice shiny place. I live in a beautiful condo now, but it's definitely 25 years older, and their emphasis is not sitting there polishing the hallways. It's keeping the pool clean and keeping the elevators working. So my little bit of advice, if you're coming up to teach school at St. Andrews up here in Bering, I'd probably take a look at this Knightsbridge building, either two of them, the two or the one next door. You can find some hidden gems in some of those other smaller buildings, but maybe do like an Airbnb for a month. And Airbnb is not a problem if you do it for 30 days. If you start getting into 5 days, yeah, it's supposed to be 30 days or more, but it's not illegal. So do it for a month or two, get your boundaries on the neighborhood and all, and then maybe go looking at some of those smaller 6-story buildings. You might get twice as much apartment for the same rent, but then again, you might be walking around a bunch of loose dogs that you're not interested in dealing with each day, and you know, you might decide to sign a 12-month lease at one of these larger buildings. Again, that's just my 2 cents, but there's nothing wrong with moving into these nice buildings, even if they're going to cost 150 or 200 extra a month, and just kind of getting your feet wet, and then go out and explore. And heck yeah, if you want to move on the top of this guy's gold shop upstairs up there for 200 bucks a month, yeah, do it. But don't try to figure that out from the US or Canada or Australia. And this is looking down Soi Bering 4, which again is Sukhumvit 107. There's the Sui Hotel, and it just looks like a bunch of Thai buildings. Looks like a nice long Soi, and you're very close, 150 meters to the BTS station. And this is on the backside of the St. Andrews, so there's a little bit of vacant lot destruction and clearing going on. Hopefully they'll clear it. Maybe it's going to stay this way a while. But that's just the neighborhood. And I haven't seen a place, a large supermarket. Now, it could be 4 blocks down the way. Of course, people have to eat in every section of town. I just didn't happen to walk by one on this walk. And it might be right on the other side of the BTS. So that would be another consideration. Of course, people have to buy groceries in every neighborhood in Bangkok, but the closer to your unit, the better. And in between those 2 Knightsbridge buildings and coming up to the BTS station, plenty of small businesses, barber shops. I don't see another 7-Eleven on this block, but you're never that far from a 7-Eleven. Or they used to be Family Marts, but I think the Family Marts are turning into Tops Daily. I think a smaller Tops, the size of a 7-Eleven type shop. I think it's taken over the Family Marts. And I guess this would be Soi 2. So this is Soi Bering /2. Looks like there's some smaller buildings down that way. And we've made our way back up to Sukhumvit, and this is a side gate to St. Andrews. This campus is huge. I don't know, it must take up 10 square acres, maybe 20 square acres. It's big. And then that is a 7-Eleven right on the corner. And here's a Watson's drugstore. That's good to have a drugstore nearby. Looks like some dental clinics. There's another mega-sized building right on the other side here. Now here it says Sukhumvit 107, but it was saying Bering Soi 1, Soi 2, Soi 4, etc. This big building on the other side, I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to go over there and explore that area on another day, but it would be at about Soi 72, 74, something like that. That is Bering BTS, not even 100 meters away, and St. Andrews is on the right. So I'm sure that's another very popular spot for expats and Thais living up in this Bering area. And we've made the big circle. We're back at the Bering BTS. Motorbike shop, some different businesses right here below the train station. I do see a Lotus on the other side of a Lotus Fresh, which is a mini supermarket, I guess. It's bigger than a 7-Eleven, smaller than a grocery store. Lotus Go Fresh, but normally, I don't know up in this area, normally the Lotus Go Fresh stays open 24 hours. Even in sleepy on Newt, the Go Fresh is open 24 hours. That's the only thing really besides 7-Elevens. Okay, so wrapping up what we did, we started right here at Bering BTS, St. Andrews. Walked up here to LaSalle, walked back, I don't know, 500 meters, 400 meters, I don't know. We walked back 6 blocks. Okay, so we went back, then went up and down a couple of those sois. Then I found that one soi that popped out back there on, it said, the street sign said Bering Soi 1, but it's Sukhumvit 107. Then came up the way, back up Sukhumvit, and here we are back at Bering. So as you can see, those are the 2 Knightsbridge buildings, and the other one I forget, is at the gallery. And then a bunch of smaller buildings. And I didn't walk up to this beautiful looking building. That would be, if you look it up, next to Bering BTS. I'm guessing around Soi 105, maybe 103, but 105 would be my first guess. Again, that's going to be for another day. I've kind of got my hike in today, so thanks for checking it out. You know what? I did run over here. I'm going to get myself something to eat. I think it's called the Tansai Market, like bonsai, but with a T. I don't know. Pretty nice. It's not even 5:30, so it'll still come to life here. Dozens and dozens of food options, little mini bars, big music area to sit and watch soccer games, I'd guess. Over here, nail places and t-shirts, everything you're gonna find at any night market in town, but this one is 20 feet away from Bering BTS. So this would be a good, nice, easy night market with a little bit more of a Thai flavor than one that's directly right in the middle of Bangkok. You're a little bit on the outskirts. Thank you so much for watching, checking out these looks around Bangkok, and today checking out Bering, and consider subscribing. I'll be out figuring out my new city and filming it for people that might be interested. So take it easy, have a great afternoon.